Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yeah, I think
Hare
Anil
Ram,
was.
Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
मिर्ची की रेड हॉट नहीं मिर्ची
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा
नहीं है इधर है
हरे राम राम राम
किसी का जूता
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram.
नहीं
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna.
everything fine.
Hare Ram Ram Ram.
वो डाल दिया सवार है
Hare
इसकी फीलिंग
Krishna
है
Krishna
इसमें म्यूजिक दिया था
Hare Ram Ram Ram.
You wanna eat take it?
Hare Krishna Krishna
You
Krishna.
wanna have it take it?
Hare Ram Ram.
तो थोड़ा fruits ले लो.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna.
Did you try?
Hare Ram Ram.
Super is it? वो भरो ना.
Hare Krishna Krishna
मल्टीपल का होता है
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna.
Skin से कट करके डालने दे.
Hare Ram Ram.
This photo. The
Hare
yellow
Krishna
one.
Yeah.
Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram.
वो लेटर डिलीट किया
Hare Krishna
डिलीट किया
Krishna. Hare Ram Ram.
ओके
Hare
I
Krishna
मेरे पास
have
है.
to do it but
मेरे
Hare
पास
Ram
Ram. I feel like it is there
Hare
I cannot
Krishna
keep it there
Krishna.
है. Keep it
Hare
there.
Ram
बंदा देखे नहीं. देखे हैं.
Hare Krishna Krishna.
मेरे पास है. मुझे ना.
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram
अचानक से किसी लिखा है तो
Hare Krishna Krishna.
Today I am drinking so much.
Hare Ram
From the
Ram.
beginning. I cried also.
Hare Krishna
What a
Krishna.
wonderful thought. आपके सामने नहीं आते हैं. आपके सामने
Hare
आंसू नहीं
Krishna
आते.
Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram
तो और साथ चाहिए मुझे
Thank you. I'm done.
Hare
अच्छा था.
Krishna Krishna.
ये तो लोग नहीं.
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram.
मैं उधर थोड़ा फिक्स करके चैंटिंग शुरू कर
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna.
वन
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna.
ये रास्ते पे फिनिश कीजिए
Hare Ram
राइट नहीं
Ram.
लगा
Oh.
यानी फिनिश कीजिए
Hare Krishna
Bhavan
Krishna.
फिनिश करता हूँ.
Hare Ram
फिर मैं
Ram.
तो मेरा सेकंड.
Hare Krishna Krishna.
हाँ ये तो दर्शन है तो
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram.
मैं जाना है
Hare
कुछ
Krishna
सोचना.
Krishna.
समझे?
Hare Ram
देखा लिए थी. बड़ा
Hare Krishna
feeling
Krishna.
reflection.
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna.
और चाहिए
Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Right now, okay.
Hare Ram Ram Ram.
I'm so full.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Actually,
Hare
we can complete this.
Hare Ram Ram.
Amit again?
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Krishna
again.
Krishna Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
ठीक है, मैं कर
Hare
रहा हूँ.
Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
बोलो ना.
Hare Hare
सेवा कैंसिल.
Hare
because
Ram
हमारा स्टार है ना.
Yeah.
हमारा तो
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare
3 places is going to
Hare Ram
this weekend. Tomorrow.
Hare
Saturday.
Krishna Krishna
So 4 hours he's gonna drive.
Tomorrow Friday.
Hare Ram
Tomorrow Friday.
Fasting.
Krishna
San
Krishna
Antonio.
Krishna
And
Hare
then
Ram
one more place.
How long you stay there?
This
Hare
weekend.
Krishna Krishna Hare
He has
Hare
decided.
Ram.
So San Antonio.
Hare Krishna
Longer
Krishna
fasting.
Krishna Hare
One more place.
Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Welcome.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
वाटर बोल के आप ही पिया.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
वाटर मेरा है बोल के
Hare
नहीं पिया. फटाफट यार. आपका पेट
Hare
है.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
मैं फील करने का ट्रेनिंग है
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
I want to do
Hare
it.
Ram, Ram Ram.
I want to do that.
Try your water.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
क्यों
Krishna,
आप कुछ
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
when will take
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
destination to
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
why
Ram,
are
Ram Ram.
huh
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Yes, Krishna Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Samyukta Mataji, Radhika Mataji, Gaurav Prabhu, Deepa Mataji, Lavanya, Lilith Mohan Prabhuji, Sandhya Mataji, Dhanava Pranams. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining today. Let us begin with Mangalacharana prayer and start reading the second canto, first chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachanam pangulangai degam yakrupādamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gatopi va yasmaret pundarikaksham sabhyabhyantaram suchihi. Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. I'm just opening. Just give me a minute. Yes, Deepa Mataji, ready.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The saintly king Khatwanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would be only a moment more, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the personality of Godhead. Purport. A fully responsible man should always be conscious of the prime duty of the present human form of life. The activities to meet the immediate necessities of material life are not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for attainment of the best situation in the next life. Human life is meant for preparing ourselves for that prime duty. Maharaja Khatwanga is mentioned herein as a saintly king because even within the responsibility of the state management, he was not at all forgetful of the prime duty of life. Such was the case with other Rajarshis, saintly kings, like Maharaja Yudhishthira and Maharaja Parikshit. They were all exemplary personalities on account of their being alert in discharging their prime duty. Maharaja Khatwanga was invited by the demigods in the higher planets to fight demons, and as a king he fought the battles to the full satisfaction of the demigods. The demigods, being fully satisfied with him, wanted to give him more benediction for material enjoyment. But Maharaja Khatwanga, being very much alert to his prime duty, inquired from the demigods about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not as anxious to accumulate some material benediction from the demigods as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by the demigods, however, that his life would last only a moment longer. The king at once left the heavenly kingdom, which is always full of material enjoyment of the highest standard, and coming down to this earth, took ultimate shelter of the all-safe personality of Godhead. He was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment, by the saintly king was successful because he was always alert to his prime duty. Maharaja Parikshit was thus encouraged by the great Shukdev Goswami, even though he had only seen 7 days left in his life, to execute the prime duty of hearing the glories of Lord in form of Srimad Bhagavatam. By the will of the Lord, Maharaja Parikshit instantly met the great Shukdev Goswami, and the great treasure of spiritual success left by him is nicely mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji. They are fortunate to know when they are going to die, but we never know when we are going to leave this material world. So Prabhupada writes, this life is a preparation, death is an examination. So how we want to prepare? Either we are fully utilize this time, our effort, our energies, our money, including money, using Krishna's service. That's more important. These are the stories, history point of view. So they know the time of when they are going to leave, but we don't know. So we have to utilize every moment in Krishna's service. Mostly, Krishna is. Thank you, Mataji. Samyukta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please continue.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 more days. So during this time, you can perform all those rituals which are needed for the best purpose of your next life. Purport. Shukadev Goswami, after citing the example of Maharaja Katwanga, who prepared himself for the next life within a very short time, encouraged Maharaj Parikshit by saying that since he still had 7 days at his disposal, he could easily take advantage of the time to prepare himself for the next life. Indirectly, the Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit that he should take shelter of the sound representation of the Lord for the 7 days, still remaining in the duration of his life, and thus get himself liberated. In other words, everyone can best prepare himself for the next life simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam as it was recited by Sukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. The rituals are not formal, but there are also some favorable conditions which are required to be carried out as instructed hereafter. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Sandhya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: at the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death, but one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all desires thereof. Purport: the foolishness of gross materialism is that people think of making a permanent settlement in this world, although it is a settled fact that one has to give up everything here that has been created by valuable human energy. Great statesmen, scientists, philosophers, etc., who are foolish without any information of the spirit soul, think that this life of a few years only is all in all and that there is nothing more after death. This poor fund of knowledge, even in the so-called learned circles of the world, is killing the vitality of human energy, and the awful result is being keenly felt. And yet, the foolish materialistic men do not care about what is going to happen in the next life. The preliminary instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should know that the identity of the individual living entity is not lost even after the end of this present body, which is nothing an outward dress only. As one changes an old garment, so the individual living being is also changes his body, and this change of body is called death. Death is therefore a process of changing the body at the end of the duration of present life. An intelligent person must be prepared for this and must try to have the best type of body in the next life. The best type of body is a spiritual body, which is obtained by those who go back to the kingdom of God or enter the realm of Brahman. In the second chapter of this canto, this matter will be broadly discussed. But as far as the change of body is concerned, one must prepare now for the next life. Foolish people attach more importance to the present temporary life, and thus the foolish leaders make appeals to the body and the bodily relations. The bodily relations extend not only to this body, but also to the family members, wife, children, society, country, and so many other things which end at the end of life. After death, one forgets everything about the present bodily relations. We have a little experience of this at night when we go to sleep. While sleeping, we forget everything about this body and bodily relations, although this forgetful is a temporary situation for only a few hours. Death is nothing but sleeping for a few months in order to develop another term of bodily engagement, which we are awarded by the law of nature according to our aspiration. Therefore, one has only to change the aspiration during the course of this present body, and for this there is no need of training in the current duration of human life. This training can be begun at any stage of life or even a few seconds before death, but the usual procedure is for one to get the training from every early life, from the stage of brahmacharya, and gradually progress to the gruhastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa orders of life. The institution which gives such training is called varnashrama dharma, or the system of sanatana dharma. The best procedure for making the human life perfect. One is therefore required to give up the attachment to family or social or political life just at the age of 50 years, if not earlier, and the training in the Vanaprastha and Sannyasa Ashrama is given for preparation of the next life. Foolish materialists in the garb of leaders of the people in general stick to family affairs without attempting to cut off relations with them, and thus they become victims of nature's law and get gross bodies again, according to their work. Such foolish leaders may have some respect from the people at the end of life, but that doesn't mean that such leaders will be immune to natural laws under which everyone is tightly bound by the hands and feet. The best thing is, therefore, that everyone voluntarily give up family relations by transferring the attachment from family, society, country, and everything thereof to the devotional service of the Lord. It is stated hearing that one should give up all desires of family attachment. One must have a chance for a better desires, otherwise there is no chance of giving such morbid desires. Desire is the concomitant factor of the living entity. The living entity is eternal, and therefore his desires, which are natural for a living being, are also eternal. One cannot therefore stop desiring, but the subject matter for desires can be changed. So one must develop the desire for returning home back to Godhead, and automatically the desires of material gain, material honor, and material popularity will diminish in proportion to the development of devotional service. A living being is meant for service activities, and his desires are centered around such a service attitude. Beginning from the top executive head of the state down to the insignificant pauper in the street, all are rendering some sort of service to the others. The perfection of such a service attitude is only attained simply by transferring the desire of service from matter to spirit, or from Satan to God.
Yeah. Big
Thank you so
purport.
much.
Thank you for reading. So, how to, this is the thing, Prabhupada writes, one cannot therefore stop desiring, but the subject matter for desires can be changed. So, where we place our desires, either materialistic desires or spiritual desires is going back to God. Yeah, when voluntarily gives up. Otherwise, whatever relations we have, engage them in Krishna service. That better way to understand actually. Voluntarily give up family relations by transferring the attachment from family, society, country, everything thereof to the devotional service of the Lord. We have to engage all of our family members in the service of the Lord. There is one beautiful verse in the Bhagavatam. Guru Runa Sasya. Lavanya, are you there? You know, right, that verse? I forgot. Guru Runa Sasya. Sajana Nasasya.
Pitana Satya, Daivam Nasatya. Yeah, something. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
One who cannot liberate, they cannot be father, mother, or demigod, or this one.
Correct. This is also a big purport. Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Thank you very much for joining. Yes,
Translation. One should leave home and practice self-control. In a sacred place, he should bathe regularly and sit down in a lonely place duly sanctified. Purport. To prepare oneself for the better next life, one must get out of one's so-called home. The system of Varnashram Dharma or Sanatan Dharma prescribes retirement from family encumbrances as early as possible after one has passed 50 years of age. Modern civilization is based on family comforts, the highest standard of amenities, and therefore, after retirement, everyone expects to live a very comfortable life in a well furnished home decorated with fine ladies and children without any desire to get out of such a comfortable home. High government officers and ministers stick to their prize post until death, and they neither dream nor desire to get out of homely comforts. Bound by such hallucinations, materialistic men prepare various plans for a still more comfortable life, but suddenly cruel death comes without mercy and takes away the great plan maker against his desire, forcing him to give up the present body for another body. Such a plan maker is thus forced to accept another body in one of the 84 lakh species of life, according to the fruits of the work he has performed. In the next life, persons who are too much attached to family comforts are generally awarded lower species of life on account of sinful acts performed during a long duration of sinful life, and thus all the energy of the human life is spoiled. In order to be saved from the danger of spoiling the human form of life and being attached to unreal things, one must take warning of death at the age of 50, if not earlier. The principle is that one should take it for granted that the death warning is already there even prior to the attainment of 50 years of age, and thus, at any age of life, one should prepare himself for a better next life. The system of the Sanatan Dharma institution is so made that the follower is trained for the better next life without any chance that the human life will be spoiled. The holy places all over the world are meant for the residential purposes of retired persons getting ready for a better next life. Intelligent persons must go there at the end of life, and for that matter, after 50 years of age, to live a life of spiritual regeneration for the sake of being freed from family attachment, which is considered to be the shackle of material life. One is recommended to quit home just to get rid of material attachment, because one who sticks to family life until death cannot get rid of material attachment. And as long as one is materially attached, one cannot understand spiritual freedom. One should not, however, become self complacent simply by leaving home or by creating another home at the holy place, either lawfully or unlawfully. Many persons leave home and go to such holy places, but due to bad association, again become family men by illicit connection with the opposite sex. The illusory energy of matter is so strong that one is apt to be under such illusion at every stage of life, even after quitting one's happy home. Therefore, it is essential that one practice self control by celibacy without the least desire for sex indulgence. For a man desiring to improve the condition of his existence, sex indulgence is considered suicidal, or even worse. Therefore, to live apart from family life means to become self controlled in regard to all sense desires, especially sex desires. The method is that one should have a duly sanctified sitting place made of straw, deerskin, and carpet, and thus sitting on it, one should chant the holy name of the Lord without offense as prescribed above. The whole process is to drag the mind from material engagements and fix it on the lotus feet of the Lord. This simple process alone will help one advance to the highest stage of spiritual success.
Thank you very much, Madhuri, for reading. Yeah. Pretty self-explanatory purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much again. Yeah, Lavanya, can you? You want to add, Prabhu? Lalitman Prabhu? Hare Krishna? Yeah. Anyway, Lavanya, go ahead.
No, Prabhu, nothing to say, Prabhu. Haribol.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Lavanya, can you go ahead?
Yeah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. After sitting in the above manner, make the mind remember the three transcendental letters Om, and by regulating the breathing process, control the mind so as not to forget the transcendental seed. Purport. Omkara or the Pranava is the seed of transcendental realization, and it is composed of the three transcendental letters Om. By its chanting by the mind in conjunction with the breathing process, which is transcendental but mechanical way of getting into trance, as devised by the experience of great mystics, one is able to bring the mind, which is materially observed, under control. This is the way of changing the habit of the mind. The mind is not to be killed. Mind or desire cannot be stopped. But to develop a desire to function for spiritual realization, the quality of engagement by the mind has to be changed. The mind is a pivot of the active sense organs, and such, if the quality of thinking, feeling, and willing is changed, naturally the quality of actions by the instrumental senses will also change. Omkara is the seed of all transcendental sound, and it is only the transcendental sound which can bring about the desired change of the mind and the senses. Even a mentally deranged man can be cured by treatment of transcendental sound. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Pranava Omkara has been accepted as the direct, literal representation of the Supreme Absolute Truth. One who is not able to chant directly the holy name of the Lord as recommended above can easily chant the Pranava or Omkara. This Omkara is a note of address, such as, "O my Lord." Just as Om Hari Om means, "Oh my Lord," the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we have explained, therefore, the Lord's holy name is identical with the Lord Himself. So also is Omkara. But persons who are unable to realize the transcendental personal form or name of the Lord on account of their imperfect senses, in other words, the neophytes, are trained to the practice of self-realization by the mechanical process of regulating the breathing function and simultaneously repeating the pranava, Omkara, within the mind. As we have several times expressed, since the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, etc. of the personality of Godhead are impossible to understand with the present material senses, it is necessary that through the mind, the center of sensual activities, such transcendental realization be set into motion. The devotees directly fix their minds on the person of the absolute truth. But one who is unable to accommodate such personal personal features of the absolute is disciplined in impersonality to train the mind to make further progress. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you for reading. So, Om Omkara, any prayer, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Vishnuvaya Namaha. Just addressing with Supreme Lord, like, oh my Lord. Like for example here, Om Hari means, oh my Lord, the Supreme Personality of God. Om Govindaya Namaha, Om. Oh my Lord, Govinda. A pleasure, giving pleasure to the senses. Like this, so addressing. This point is very nice actually. The Lord's holy name is identical with the Lord himself. Abhinnatvam Namanamina. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. That's why we say Harinam Prabhu Ki Jai. Harinam Prabhu Ki Jai. So chanting the holy names of the Lord is the proper engagement to the mind and senses. Right? When we chant Hare Krishna mantra, 3 senses are engaged. What are they? Quickly. Hare Krishna.
We hear, we speak, we touch the beats. And mind also will be engaged.
3 senses. Right? How are we chanting? How are we hearing? And mind, how each syllable focusly meditating. So chanting is the best process. Chanting and see 3 activities: chanting, hearing, remembering going on. Hare Krishna Mama. Yeah, thank you very much again. So now Prabhuji's, I think somebody, I'm on hearing mode today. Sorry, Prabhuji. Okay. Sure, Gaurav Prabhu. Sure. Thank you very much for letting us know. Now Prabhuji's. Someone who is not there. Chandraval Prabhu. Subhan Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. After Chandraval Prabhu, you can read Subhan Prabhu. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Read Prabhu. Chandraval Prabhu.
Oh, you're asking me. I thought you were asking me to wait. Okay. Translation. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdrawn from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Purport. The first process of spiritualizing the mind by mechanical chanting of the pranava, omkara, and by control of the breathing system is technically called the mystic or yogic process of pranayama, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayama system is to be fixed in trance, technically called samadhi. But experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. History has already recorded this. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status, and thus disturbs one from cent percent engagement in self-realization. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami recommends the next step of issued policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad Gita of 6.447. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by the different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. If performed under proper guidance, that is surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Chandra Prabhuji. 6.47, that one, right? Yogi namapi sarvesham adgate rantaratmana shaddavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. Of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all, in my opinion. Prabhupada quoted that particular verse in connection with this purport, this verse. Yeah. Let's continue. So, Suman Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. Thereafter, you should meditate upon the limbs of Vishnu, one after another, without being deviated from the conception of the complete body. Thus, the mind becomes free from all sense objects. There should be no other thing to be thought upon, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is the ultimate truth. The mind becomes completely reconciled in him only. Purport. Foolish persons, bewildered by the external energy of Vishnu, do not know that the ultimate goal of the progressive search after happiness is to get in touch directly with Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Vishnu Tattva is an unlimited expansion of different transcendental forms of the personality of Godhead, and the supreme or original form of Vishnu Tattva is Govinda or Lord Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. Therefore, thinking of Vishnu or meditating upon the transcendental form of Vishnu, specifically upon Lord Krishna, is the last word on the subject of meditation. This meditation may be begun from the lotus feet of the Lord. One should not, however, forget or be misled from the complete form of the Lord. Thus, one should practice thinking of different parts of his transcendental body, one after another. Here, in these words, it is definitely assured that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal. He is a person, but his body is different from those of conditioned persons like us. Otherwise, meditation beginning from the pranava up to the limbs of the personal body of Vishnu would not have been recommended by Sukadeva Goswami for the attainment of complete spiritual perfection. The Vishnu forms of worship in great temples of India are not, therefore, arrangements of idol worship, as they are wrongly interpreted to be by a class of men with a poor fund of knowledge. Rather, they are different spiritual centers of meditation on the transcendental limbs of the body of Vishnu. The worshipable deity in the temple of Vishnu is identical with Lord Vishnu by the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Therefore, a neophyte's concentration or meditation upon the limbs of Vishnu in the temple, as contemplated in the revealed scriptures, is an easy opportunity for meditation for persons who are unable to sit down tightly at one place and then concentrate upon pranava, or the limbs of the body of Vishnu, as recommended herein by Sukadeva Goswami, the great authority. The common man can benefit more by meditating on the form of the Vishnu in the temple than on the Omkara. The spiritual combination of Om, as explained there before, there is no difference between Omkara and the forms of Vishnu. But persons unacquainted with the science of absolute truth try to create dissension by differentiating between the forms of Vishnu and that of Omkara. Here it is indicated that the Vishnu form is ultimate goal of meditation, and such it is better to concentrate upon the forms of Vishnu than on impersonal Omkara. The later process is also difficult than the former. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for reading. So, let us continue. Akinchan Prabhu. I think he's not there. He dropped off. Okay. Where is left? Yeah. Lalitpan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Translation. One's mind is always agitated by passionate mode of material nature and bewildered by ignorant mode of nature. But one can rectify such conceptions by relation of Vishnu and thus become pacified by cleansing the dirty things created by them. Purport by his divine grace. Persons generally conducted by the mode of passion and ignorance cannot be bona fide candidates for being situated in the transcendental stage of God realization. Only persons conducted by the mode of goodness can have the knowledge of the supreme truth. Effects of modes of passion and ignorance are manifested by too much hankering after wealth and women. And those who are too much after wealth and women can rectify their leanings only by constant remembrance of Vishnu in his feature composed of impersonal potencies. Okay? Okay, sorry. Impersonal potencies. Okay. Generally, the impersonalists or the monists are influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. Such impersonalists think of themselves as liberated souls, but they have no knowledge of transcendental personal future of the absolute truth. Actually, they are impure in heart on account of being devoid of knowledge of the personal feature of the absolute. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after many hundreds of births, the impersonal philosophers surrender unto the personality of Godhead. To acquire such a qualification of God realization in the personal feature, the neophyte impersonalist is given a chance to realize the relation of the Lord in everything by the philosophy of pantheism. Pantheism in its higher status does not come. Prabhu, pantheism, can you please check the word of meaning of it? God with the universe or regards the universe as manifestation of God. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Worships that admits or tolerates. Another meaning is there for all gods.
No, God with the universe. Whole universe is God. Pantheism in its higher status does not permit the student to form an impersonal conception of absolute truth, but it extends the conception of the absolute truth into the field of so-called material energy. Everything created by the material energy can be dovetailed with the absolute by an attitude of service, which is the essential part of living energy. The pure devotee of the Lord knows the art of converting everything into its spiritual existence by this service attitude. And only in that devotional way can the theory of pantheism be perfected. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Very well. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. The pure devotee of the Lord knows the art of converting everything into its spiritual existence by the service attitude. And only in that devotional way can theory of pantheism be perfected. Super lives. Converting everything. Everything Krishna is. Thinking, feeling, willing, whatever. Krishikena, Rishikesha, Sevana Bhakti Vichyate. Very good. I think everybody done, na? Let me see. Akinchan Prabhu joined back, okay. Akinchan Prabhu, Haribol. Are you able to read, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Everybody done.
You want
Hare
to
Krishna.
read the words also?
No. It's okay. No, it's
Translation
translation.
and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King, by this system of remembrance and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all good personal conception of the God, of the Lord, one can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter. Purport: success of mystic performances is achieved only by the help of devotional attitude. Pantheism or the system of the feeling the presence of Almighty everywhere is the sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception, and it is the devotional attitude of the mystic that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to such successful status without the tinge of the mixture in devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that the impersonal way of self-realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way. Although the impersonalists also become obsessed with the personal future of the Lord after a long time.
Very well. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. 12.5. What is that? Yeah, Kleshodikarasteisham, Abhyaktyavaktachetasam, Abhyaktahi Gatir Dukkham, Deha Vadbhir Avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal picture of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So, personalist, personal form of Supreme Lord is easy to meditate. That is best. Impersonalist, how long? It's not very troublesome. Krishna himself is saying very troublesome. Unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme advancement is very troublesome. Yes, problem. I think we can stop. Anything we want to add, Prabhu? There is no problem.
No, Prabhu. Today I am actually not call. I'm in the call, but not in the call. Sorry, I was engaged in some other activity, Prabhu. Sorry, I couldn't participate in this. Thank you.
No problem. So, yeah, we'll stop here anyway. We'll continue from 22nd verse of first chapter of second canto on Monday. So we'll stop here. From this verse we can look. On our Queen Kunti Maharani prayers, whoever not done, let us complete today. Anyone likes to do? Haribol? Who are not done? Yesterday, Radhika Mataji done. Deepa Mataji done. Sandhya Mataji done. Sangeeta Mataji done. Ram Reddy Prabhu done. Lavanya, you want to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
If everybody done, I'll do. Okay.
Done. We can.
Yeah.
For one after that, I think Chandral Prabhu, would you like to do?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, we'll do all the myself also. I can do one time. So let us spend some. Yeah, you can start. Just hold on 1 minute. Just give me a minute. Yes, you can start. Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.18 Kunti Vacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Antarbahir Avastitam Maya Javanika Channam Ajnadokshajam Avyayam Nalakshase Mundadrisha Nato Natyadaro Yata Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidanartam Katam Pashyemahi Striyaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये। यथा ऋषिकेशकलेन देवकी कंसेन रुत्तातिचिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वय्यैव नातेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात् विशान्महाग्ने पुरुषाददर्शनात् असत्सभाया वनवासकृश्रुता मृदे मृदेनेकमहारतास्त्रतो द्रौण्यस्ततश्चाश्म हरे विरक्षिता विपदा सन्तुता शाश्वत तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यत् स्यात् अपुनर्भव दर्शनम् जन्मैश्वर्यश्रुतः श्रीभिरिदमानामदः पुमान् नैर्वार्हत्य विधातुं वै त्वाम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्ता गुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यापतये नमः। मन्ये त्वां कालमीशानम् अनादिनिधनं विभुं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यत्मितः कली न वेद कश्चित् भगवां शिकीर्षितं तवेहमानस्य नृणं विदम्बनम् न यस्य कश्चित् दयितोऽस्ति कर्हिषे द्वेषश्च यस्यास्मिन् विषमामतिर्नृणाम् जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्या कर्तुरात्मना तिर्यन्निशेषु यादर्शो तदत्यन्ता विदम्बनम् गोप्या ददे त्वयि कृता गसितामताव्या गोप्या ददे त्वयि कृता गसितामतावत् या ते दशाश्रु कलिलाञ्जनसम्भ्रमाक्षम् भद्रं निनीय भयभावनया स्थितस्या सा मां विमोहयति भिरपि यद्विभेति केचिदाहुरजं जातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्यान्भवाये मलयस्येव चन्दनम् अपरे वासुदेवस्य देवक्यां याचितोऽभ्यगात् अजस्वम् अस्य क्षेमाय वदया सा सुरद्विषाम् भारावताररायान्ये भुवो नावा इवो ददौ सीदन्त्य भूरिभारेण जातो ह्यात्मा भवार्तिता भवेस्मिन् क्लिश्यमानानाम् अविद्या कामकर्मभिः श्रवणस्मरणार्हाणि करिष्यन् इति केचन शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्तभीक्ष्णशः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवेहितं जना तयेव पश्यन्त्यचिरेण तावकम् भवः प्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम् अप्यद्यनस्त्वं स्वकृते हितः स्वकृते हितप्रभो जिहाससि स्वे सुहृदोऽनुजीविना येषां न चान्याद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजितां हसाम् केवयं नाम रूपाभ्यां यदुभिः सह पाण्डवा भवतो दर्शनं यर्हि ऋषिकानाम् इवेशितु नेयं शोभिष्यते तत्र यतेदानीं गदाधरा त्वत्पदैरङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणा विलक्षितैः इमे जना पदा श्रुद्धा स्वपक्षौषधि विरुधा वनाद्रिनद्युदन्वन्तो हेदन्ते तव वीक्षितैः अत विश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशम् इदं चिन्दी दृढं पाण्डुषु वृष्णुषु त्वयि मेऽनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सुकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दत्ता गङ्गेवोगम् उदन्वती श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सख्या वृष्णिऋषभावनी दृक् राजन्यवंशदवना दहनाप 1 second. श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सखा वृष्णिऋषभावनी दृक् राजन्यवंशदहनानपवर्गवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विगसुरातिहरावतारा योगेश्वरा किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते. లాస్ట్ పోయిందా ప్రభుజీ? హరే కృష్ణ.
No, Mataji, it's good. Adi Supakvaushadi అనేది ఒకసారి చూడండి మాతాజీ.
Yeah, yes. హరే
Supakvaushadi.
Yeah, Supakvaushadi.
Yes, everything is okay, Mataji.
Yes.
ఇక్కడ ఔషధ ఎక్కడ విచ్ వర్స్? విచ్ వర్స్?
40 ప్రభు 1840.
Supakvaushadi.
జనపద స్మృద్ధ సుపక్వౌషధి వీరుద.
ఓకే, షూర్. చంద్రాలు ప్రభు.
గోవింద. హరే కృష్ణ. కుంతి ఉవాచ నమస్తే పురుషం త్వాద్యం ఈశ్వరం ప్రకృతే పరం అలక్ష్యం సర్వభూతానాం అంతర్బాహిరవస్థితం మాయాజవానికచ్చన్నం అజ్ఞాదోషజం అవ్యయం న లక్ష్యసే మూఢదృశ నటో నాట్యాధరో యథా తథా పరమహంసానాం మునీనాం అమలాత్మనాం భక్తియోగ విధానార్థం కథాం పశ్యేమ హి స్త్రియః కృష్ణాయ వాసుదేవాయ దేవకీ నందనాయ చ నందగోపకుమారాయ. Prabhuji, could you please minimize a little bit? Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankajamanaabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangrahe Yata Hushikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddhati Chiram Sucharpita Imochitaham cha sahatmaj vibo tayaiva nadena muhurvibhatkanat Vishan mahagnesh purushat darshanat asat sabaya vanavasa pruchitaha mrude neka Maharatastrato Draunyastrastasmahare Virakshitaha.
మళ్ళీ చేస్తారా ఒకసారి?
Yes, Professor.
Yeah.
Vishan Mahagnesh Purushad Darshanad Asat Sabaya Vanavasha Kruchata Mrude Nika Maharadastato Draunyastrastasmahare Virakshitaha.
ఒకసారి సెకండ్ 2 లైన్స్ నాతో రిపీట్ చేయండి.
Okay.
మృధేనేక మహారథాస్త్రతో
మృదేనేక మహారథాస్త్రతో హరేభిరక్షితః మృదేనేక మహారథాస్త్రతో ద్రౌణ్యస్త్రతశ్చస్మహరేభిరక్షితః. Giriraj Prabhuji, could you please minimize a little bit? We are missing last line of slokas. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Ipada santuta sasva tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yat syad apunarbhava darshanam जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुत स्त्रीभिर् एदमानमदपुमान् नैवर्हत्याभिद दातुं वै त्वम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्तगुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यपतये नमः मन्ये त्वं कालम् ईशानाम् अनादिनिधनं विभुं समं चनन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मितः कलिः न वेद कश्चिद् भगवं चिकित्सितं तवेह मानस्य नुन्नामिदं वनं न यस्य कश्चिद् दयितोऽस्ति कच्चित् कर्हिषित् द्वेषश्च यस्मिन् विषमा मतिर्नृणाम् जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्य कर्तुरात्मनः तिर्यानिषेषु दयादिषु तदत्यन्तविदम्बनम् जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्य कर्तुरात्मनः तिर्यानिषेषु यादशु तदत्यन्तविदम्बनम्
Yadasu is Yadasu. Tiryan Rishishu Yadasu.
ऋषिषु यादशु ऋषिषु यादशु तदत्यन्तविदम्बनम् विदम्बनम्
Da kinda dot ఉంది కదా ధా అని చదవాలి
విడంబనम्
yes bro go ahead bro the next sloka
yeah this one is
गोप्याददे त्वयि कृता
गसिदाम तावद् याते दशश्रुकलिराञ्जन सम्भ्रमाक्षम् वक्त्रं निनीय भयभावनया स्थितस्य क्षमामि मोहयतिभिरपि यद्दिवेति Giriraj Prabhuji, please move on. हे चिदाहुरजं दातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्यान्वये मलयस्येव चन्दनम्
प्रियस्यान् भवाये
ववाये
यदो प्रियस्यान्
ववाये मलयासेव चन्दनम् केचिदाहुरजं जातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्यान् ववये मलयस्येव चन्दनम् अपरे वासुदेवस्य देवक्यां याचितोऽभ्यगात् अजस्त्वम् अस्य क्षेमाय वदाय च सुरद्विषम् भारावतारनायन्ये भुवो नावयो ददौ सीदन्त्यभूरिभारेण जातो ह्यात्मा भवर्तितः भवेस्मिन् क्लिश्यमानानाम् अविद्याकामकर्मभिः श्रवणस्मरणार्धानि करिष्यानीति केचन शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्त्यभीक्ष्णशः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवैहितं जना तयेव पश्यन्ति अचिरेण तावकं भवप्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम्
अप्याद्यनस्त्वं स्वकृते हितप्रभो
అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభు జీహ ససి స్వేత్ సుహృదో నుజ్జనః యేషాం న చాన్యద్ భవతా పదాంబుజాత్ పరాయణం రాజసు విజో విజ్జితాం హసాం.
ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేయండి ప్రభు నాతో. సరే. అప్యద్యనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో.
అప్యద్యనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో
జిహాససి స్వేత్ సుహృదో నుజీవినః.
జిహాససి స్వేత్ సుహృదో నుజీవినః.
యేషాం న చాన్యద్ భవతా పదాంబుజాత్.
యేషాం న చాన్యద్ భవతా పదాంబుజాత్
పరాయణం రాజసు యోజితాం హసన్.
పరాయణం రాజసు విజితాం హసాం.
యోజితాం హసాం.
యోజితాం హసాం.
పరాయణం రాజసు యోజితాం హసం.
పరాయణం రాజసు యోజితాం హసాం.
ఎస్ ప్రభు.
38. కేవయం నామ రూపాభ్యాం యదుభి సహ పాండవా భవతో దర్శనం యర్హి ఇవేషితుః నేయం శోభిష్యతే తత్ర యతేదానిం గదాధర త్వత్పాదైరంకితభాతి స్వలక్షణ విలక్షితః. విలక్షితై. ఇమే జనపద
ఇమే జనపద స్వృద్ధా.
ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా సుపక్వసౌది విరుధ వినాద్రినాద్యోదంతివంతో ఏదంతే తవత్ వీక్షితై.
రిపీట్ చేయండి ప్రభు. ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేయండి. ఇమే జనపద స్వృద్ధా.
ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా
సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధః.
సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధః
వనాద్రినద్యుదన్వంతో.
వనాద్రినద్యుదన్వంతో
ఏదంతే తవ వీక్షితై.
ఏదంతే తవ వీక్షితై.
ఒకసారి మొత్తం నేను ఒకసారి చేస్తాను, మీరు రిపీట్ చేయండి. ఇమే జనపద స్వృద్ధా సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధ వనాద్రినద్యుదన్వంతో ఏదంతే తవ వీక్షితై.
ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా స్పక్షౌషధి విరుధః వినాద్రినద్యుదంతో హైదంతే తవ వీక్షిత.
రాలేదు ప్రభు, ఇంకా ట్రై చేయాలి. ఇంకా చేస్తారా? ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ చేస్తారా? తర్వాత చేస్తారా?
చేస్తాం ప్రభు ఇప్పుడే. ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా సుపౌషధి
కంగారు పడకండి ప్రభు, కంగారు పడకండి, టైం ఉంది. సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధః.
ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధః వనాద్రినద్యుదన్వంతో
ఏదంతే తవ వీక్షితై.
ఏదంతే తవ వీక్షితై.
ఎస్, ఒకసారి ట్రై చేయండి స్లోగా, అస్సలు కంగారు పడకండి.
ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధః వినాద్రినాద్యుదన్వంతో.
రాంగ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తారు.
వనాద్రినాద్యుదన్వంతో ఏదంతే తవ వీక్షిత. ఇమే జనపద శ్రుద్ధా సుపక్వౌషధి విరుధః వనాద్రినాద్యుదన్వంతో edante tava vekshitai.
Yes, Prabhu, 41 calendar. That's okay. Good.
Atha vishvesha visvatman visvamurte swakeshu me sneha pasham imam chindi rudam pandushu vishnushu. त्वयि मे नान्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता ददात अधः गंगे वायुग्यम् उद्वन्ति.
Last రెండు చదవండి ప్రభు నాతో. రతిం ఉద్వహతాద్ అద్ధా.
రతిమ్ ఉద్వహతాత్వ అథాద్దంతా.
ఉద్వహతాద్ అద్ధ. తాద్ అద్ధ కలిపి చదవాలా? రతిం ఉద్వహతాదద్ధా.
రహిం ఉద్వహతాద్ రతిం రహిం ఉద్వహతాదద్ధా. రహిం
రహీం ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది ప్రభు? రతి మరి.
రతిం సారీ ప్రభు. రతిముదః తాదః
రతిం ఉద్వహతాదద్ధా.
రహిముద్దః రతిముద్దః తాదద్ధా.
ప్రభు రతిం ఉద్వహతాదద్ధా.
రతిముద్దః తాదః
గంగేవౌఘం ఉదన్వతి.
గంగేవౌఘం ఉద్వంతి.
ఓకే, ఒకసారి ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి ప్రభు, మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి ఇది అయిపోయి. త్వయిమేనన్య విషయ మథిర్మధుపతే సకృత్ రతిం ఉద్వహతాదద్ధా గంగేవౌఘం ఉదన్వతి.
त्वयि विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिमुदः तादः गंगे वायुगम् उदन्ति.
गंगे वौघम उदन्वति.
गंगे वौघम् उदन्वति.
Okay, yes, Prabhu. 43, last one.
श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण सकवृष्ण ऋषभवानि उद्रुग राजन्य वंश दहनापवर्ग वीर्य गोविंद गोद्विज सुरार्ति हरावतार योगेश्वरा किल गुरु भगवान नमस्ते. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, man.
Thank you for
Congratulations,
Prabhuji.
I was on mute and laughing so no one is.
Hare Prabhu, we laughing doesn't mean that we are insulting you, Prabhu. Please don't take it.
No, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare, हमें भी अच्छा लगता है, Prabhu.
By your
because of lack of practice, Prabhu. We are getting
yeah. That is one thing,
no
and
problem.
वो actually skill है, Prabhu. बस और कुछ नहीं है. This is not bhakti actually. This is a skill which can be used in bhakti. This is a tool, okay?
Yeah. Correct.
Don't take it so seriously.
Nothing.
Just
You are wonderful devotee. Nothing, Prabhu. But by doing so, we get a good ఆరోగ్యకరమైనటువంటి నవ్వు.
Yes, Prabhuji.
No problem.
I'm not feeling sad.
రతిం ఉద్వాహదాద్ అద్ద గంగే వౌగం ఉదన్వతి. It's okay, you can practice it.
గంగే వౌగం ఉదన్వతి.
Thank you so much for reciting. It's my turn, Prabhu. So correct me if I go wrong. Okay. Kunti Maharani prayers, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, 18th verse to 43rd verse. Yeah. Kunti uvacha namasye purusham tvadyam ishwaram prakrute param alaksham sarva bhutanam antar bahir avasthitam maya javani kachannam agnadokshajam avyayam nalakshase moodhadrisha नटो नाट्याधरो यथा तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनाम् अमलात्मनां भक्ति योग विधानार्थं कथं पश्येम हि स्त्रिया कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहे यथा हृषीकेशखलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धातिचिरं सुचर्पिता विमोचिताहां च सहात्मजा विभो त्वय्यैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात् विशान्महाग्ने पुरुषाददर्शनात् असत्सभाया वनवासकृच्छ्रुता मृधे मृदेनेकमहारथास्त्रतो द्रौण्यस्त्रतश्चास्म हरेभिरक्षिता विपदौ सन्तु शाश्वत तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यत् स्यात् अपुनर्भव दर्शनं जन्मैश्वर्यश्रुतश्रीभिर्यधमानामदपुमान् नैवार्हति अभिधातुं वै त्वाम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्ता गुणविवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यपतये नमः मन्ये त्वां कालमीशानाम् अनादिनिधनं विभुं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मिथा कली न वेद कश्चेत् भगवान् चिकीर्षिताम् तवेहमानस्य नृणां विदम्बनम् न यस्य कश्चिदयितोऽस्ति कर्हि चेत् द्वेष्यश्च यस्मिन् विषमा मतिर्नृणाम् जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्या कर्तुरात्मना तिर्यान् ऋषिषु यादर्शु तदत्यन्तविडम्बनम् गोप्या ददे त्वयि कृता गसिदामतावत् या ते दशाश्रुकलिलाञ्जनसम्भ्रमाक्षम् वक्तुं निनीय भयभावनया स्थितस्य सा मां विमोहयति भेरपि यद्बिभेति एचिदहुरजं जातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्यान्वय यदो प्रियस्यान्वया यदो प्रियस्यान्वाये मलयस्येव चन्दनम् अपरे वसुदेवस्य देवाख्यं याचितो भ्यगात् अजस्त्वम् अस्य क्षेमाय वधाया च सुरद्विषां भारावतारणायान्ये भुवो नावा इवो ददौ सीदन्त्य भूरि भारेण जातो ह्यात्मभुवार्तितः भवेस्मिन् क्लिश्यमानानाम् अविद्याकामकर्मभिः श्रवणस्मरणार्हानि करिष्यान् इति केचन शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति अभीक्षणः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवेहितं जना तयेव पश्यन्ति अचिरेण तावकं भवा प्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम् अप्यद्यनस्त्वं स्वकृते हिता प्रभो जिहासि सुहृदोऽनुजीविना येषां न चान्याद् भवता पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसूयोजितां हसाम् परायणं राजसूयोजितां हसाम् केवयं नाम रूपाभ्यं यदुभिः सह पाण्डवा भवतो दर्शनं यर्हि ऋषिकाणाम् इवेसितुः नेयं सोभिष्यते तत्र यतेदानीं गदाधरा त्वात्पदैरङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणा विलक्षितैः इमे जना पदश्रद्धा सुपक्वौषधि विरुधा वनाद्रिनाद्य उदन्वन्तो येद्यन्ते तव वीक्षितैः अता विश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशम् इमं चिन्धि दृढं पाण्डुषु वृष्णिषु त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वाहताद् अद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वति श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण सकसृष्णि ऋषभावनी दृक् राजन्यवंशदहनानपवर्ग्य वीर्या गोविंद गोद्विज सुराति हरावतारा योगेश्वर अखिल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। क्वीन कुंती महारानी की जय।
Thank you so much,
चपन
Prabhuji. No, it's okay, Prabhuji. Everything is okay.
Okay, na? Okay, na?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you for teaching all these months, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your patience. Appreciate
ప్రభు
it.
అకించన్ ప్రభుని పట్టుకోవాలి ప్రభు. ఏదో రోజు సడన్ గా ఆయన మీద పడిపోవాలి.
Yeah, Akinjan Prabhu, Raju Prabhu ఇద్దరు ఉన్నారు పెండింగ్ వాళ్ళని చెప్తాం. Okay?
Lalit Mohan Prabhu, many Dandavat pranams Prabhuji for your patience and teaching to
Prabhuji, now all glories to my counselors, Prabhuji, because they have, we are burden onto them actually. Somehow or other, they trained us. Thank you so much to them.
Thank you for bearing with us. Lalit Mohan Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank
So
you,
let us-
Prabhuji, for teaching us. Beautiful shloka.
All glories to my counselors. All glories. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Giriraj Prabhuji, for leading
Thank
all
you
of us.
so much. Yes, thank you for the opportunity to serve like this in the association. Thank you for association. I am always pinging you, Prabhu Arjani, Prabhu Arjani. Prabhu. I never leave you. Okay.
I
You
always
said
welcome Prabhuji. I always
transcendental
welcome
level.
your ping.
I told you, you are my transcendental. I am also feeling same thing. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much again, Lalit Mohan Prabhu, Samyukta Mataji, Deepa Mataji, Lavanya Mataji, Sandhya Mataji, Chandramal Prabhu. Thank you so much again. So we'll connect on Monday. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Reading ki jai. Queen Kunti Maharani Prayers ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. See you all on Monday. Have a happy Krishna conscious dash
Friday.
weekend. Friday, of course.
Weekend not yet started, Prabhuji. By tomorrow we will start.
Start either in the few hours. Few hours. Of course, zero is started, but yeah. See you all on Monday.
His Grace Giriraj Prabhuji ki jai.
Giriraj Prabhu, Giriraj. Giriraj Prabhu, not that Giriraj. Giriraj. Allah Rahim Raksha Prabhu.
మీరు రతింను రహీం చేస్తారు.
Allah Rahim kare aapko Prabhu.
This flower from Sri Radha College in the deity worship. Please take, this flower. Today I had a service in temple, Vaikalika Seva. Please take it. Smell it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you all on Monday. Hari Bol. Don't take it otherwise, Chandramal Prabhu, okay?
No, Prabhuji.
Without you, no.
We're learning from you, Prabhuji. If you want to learn, then we should not take other way.
Tappul cheyale, kavalani kuda tappul cheyale, so that we can learn. Okay? Thank you very much. Pranams, Hare Krishna.